Hi, just wanted to explain something about the video that you are about to watch. It's a little bit different, it's a little bit special, and it should be. It's about the acquisition of the James Bond 60th anniversary Omega Bond watch. And I am going to be the narrator of this story. And it is a story. I mean, it's essentially in three parts. It's the press event that you're going to see, and then it is the general party where I actually acquire the watch and talk about it in a kind of a special way, you'll see. And then finally, we're going to come back to the house, and the watch has been shipped to me, and it is unopened. So I'm going to open it up in front of you and get sort of a second point of view as I open this. Let's go to it. So I probably don't need to tell you that there was an incredible amount of excitement when I was contacted by Omega that I would be invited to the press event, which was only about 25 to 30 journalists, watch aficionados, etc. I think I was the only Bond-oriented individual, which sort of gave me a leg up on the content matter. I really found that out at dinner. But it was a dinner. It was an invitation to come and see the watch, to go to the New York City Omega boutique. Sorry, my favorite boutique in the entire world, mostly because of the people. The environment's great too. Come, have some champagne, some drinks. We had some Vespers, and then boom, you would see the watch itself, be able to play with it. It was the first time I was going to see it in person. But there was also going to be a special guest star in the form of Sudarat and Alarb, who you know from this channel, but also the costume designer from No Time to Die. But let's head to New York City. We're going to go back in the past when I was getting ready, and maybe we'll interrupt me straightening out my tie. I don't know. Oh, hello. David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. I'm getting straightened up here at the Le Méridien Hotel. It's evening in New York City, and this overlooks Central Park. It's absolutely gorgeous. What am I doing here? And why am I in the No Time to Die Tom Ford suit? Why do I have the Tom Ford shirt? The tie, I've even got the tie clip, and to finish it all off, I've got my Omega No Time to Die watch. Well, this is a video about time, and there's nothing more precious than time. And you know, there's a company out there that we're all very familiar with that knows this very well and has created some amazing timepieces around this very fact. So Omega has put me up at this hotel to attend a wonderful press event for the 60th anniversary of James Bond, the watch and all the accoutrements that come with it. Now, I've got to tell you, I have no idea what's going to happen tonight. I've been invited. I know it's a small group of people, journalists and reporters and perhaps watch aficionados, but you know this about me. I straddle a very interesting line. It's almost like four different lines. I'm a fan, obviously. I'm a content creator. I'm a consumer, meaning I buy these things. And a few years ago, around No Time to Die, I crossed the lines, if you will, of journalism as well. So this is going to be very interesting as putting on my press hat, but let's face it, you can't douse the passion and the heart of a fan, of a consumer that believes in the brand, and yes, as a content creator. So guess what? I'm going to bring everything to you. It's going to be as if you were there and you're going to be able to experience it with me. But why am I continuing to talk in my hotel room? I got to get out there into New York City and experience this. I'll see you there. Okay, we are heading to the Omega Boutique for our, look who I got. I've got my videographer, Danielle.
Hello.
She's all dressed up, looking amazing.
I'm okay.
You're doing great. And our first stop is going to be the Omega Boutique. We have no idea what to expect. Let's go check it out.
So this is the box for the new 60th anniversary James Bond timepiece. It has the original wave pattern of the first ever Seamaster worn by James Bond in GoldenEye in 1995.
Oh,
The secret button here opens up. The wave motif will carry through into the leatherette lining of the actual box. You'll see the beautiful 60th anniversary timepiece there as well.
absolutely beautiful. Can we see the watch itself?
Sure. So this is the new timepiece for the 60th anniversary. It's going to have a blue oxalic anodized dial as well as bezel. You'll notice here that this is a little bit different than the current generation Seamasters that's sold in Omega boutiques today. The waves are much tighter, representing an original 1995 GoldenEye aesthetic. It's carried in colorway over to the bezel as well, but the real secret treat is on the back of the watch. We have the same type of bracelet as the No Time to Die timepiece, this time done in 360 steel. And on the back here, we have what's called a moire illusion. And essentially what happens is we have a sapphire crystal with a superimposed image underneath it. On the underside here, we have a spiral pattern that's static. Just below that, there's a rotating disc slightly above the movement that's tied directly to the center seconds of the timepiece. As the image, or as the rotating disc turns, it lines up with the image and gives you the appearance of James Bond's opening sequence.
Absolutely amazing. That is a sapphire crystal back, you said?
Sapphire crystal, yep.
So tell us about the screw down back. Is that because of the moire effect?
So actually, in order to maintain one, you have to have a little bit more thickness for the watch to compensate for the rotating disc. But in order to make sure also that the image underneath the crystal stays perfectly orientated, we needed to have it manually screwed in to facilitate that.
Stunning.
But it's still going to maintain the same water resistance.
So what was incredibly special was there was the Q&A with Siderat and Lalarve. Now you know her because she's the costume designer from No Time to Die. Talk about having a hand in the design of what Bond wears and his accessories, and of course the connection to Omega. But we've also interviewed her on this channel. So we connected right away. We talked to each other. Danielle was able to get some questions. I had a little bit of one-on-one time, which was great. But after the general Q&A, they took us right upstairs to a different area. Now, we're not going to show you the Q&A in this video because it's going to be its own video to itself. That's how special that Q&A is. But upstairs, there was a mini museum erected. Check this out. I mean, here I am. It's too noisy to go over what I was talking about, but don't worry. I speak about the watches the very next day at the following day's party. But in this case, right by where you have dinner, they had these watches set up in these beautiful museum quality lights and cases. So you're able to appreciate the different aspects to Casino Royale, The World Is Not Enough, all the different watches that they had out in its glory with some champagne and some Vespers. They were a flowing hard. That's all I'm saying. But then it was time to sit down for dinner. And one of the things that I think I was most surprised about, as I'm looking at this very long, beautiful table, there were place settings, there were actual name menus. So your menu had your name on it. It said David Zaritsky, Danielle Zaritsky, and I was sat at the head of the table, which was wild. Like, I just sat there like, I can see the entire table from here. Talk about an incredible view to a kill. And it was great just to have the conversation with everybody in a relaxed setting. So once dinner ended and the evening was over, it was over. People started to break up, and Danielle and I said, well, we're filled to the gills with champagne and vodka and food and great conversation and memories. I think it's time to go home. And then I had a quick debrief back at my hotel room. All right, so amazing evening, and it's unbelievable to think we have a whole other evening coming up, but there's so many stories to come from this. I mean, Siddharat was fantastic. We got to ask her a specific question. I have not looked to see what's in here. I will tell you this, I took my menu, the Omega magazine. This is the No Time to Die magazine. I maybe have a copy or two of this, but there is something else in here. A wonderful little box, and I have a feeling I know what this is already. But let's see if we can get, yes, it fell out. So this is their executive luggage tags, but they monogram them. So not only does it say Omega on there, but it actually has a DZ, which means Danielle's gonna have the same exact ones, and it's got a little lock that says Omega. These are very cool. These are a lot of fun, and yes, they will go in my luggage. But you know something? I need to get out of this suit so I can get some sleep, because I got a whole other day ahead of us of Bond fun. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so mind you, that's just part one of the story, because the very next day we stayed in New York. I actually did some business in New York with clients, took some meetings, and then in the evening we got ready again. I decided for the second night, because it wasn't going to be around press and journals and magazines and watch aficionados, it was going to be kind of the general public, but close to about 100 people. So I wanted something that I was comfortable in, that I could move in. So I decided to wear my double-breasted navy jacket, the blazer, with a pair of gray slacks, coarse Crockett and Joan shoes. And I was just very comfortable. And I needed to be, because here's a really great moment. So I spoke to the Omega Boutique folks and the powers that be, and I said, listen, I'm coming tonight specifically to really, really inspect the watch. Everybody else is kind of coming to party, to celebrate the watch. Is there any way that I could possibly get in about 30 minutes early just to take video and explore the watch and capture it for my channel? And without hesitation, Omega said yes. So not only did they say yes, not only did they set me up 30 minutes before the throngs came in and the doors opened up, they allowed me to set up at the table, at the official 60th anniversary James Bond Omega watch table, to do my discussion of the watch. But of course, then there was another little surprise, which I'll just let the video sort of unfold and you will see. Okay, here we are, second night at the Fifth Avenue Omega Boutique. It's a very special night. Now, last night, as you saw, a little bit of formality, some celebrities, a great dinner discussion. Tonight is all about a relaxed celebration with people that love watches and happen to love James Bond. I mean, look at the signage around here. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a little bit of a surprise that I want to talk about, and that is the fact that I am sitting in front of the 60th anniversary James Bond watch. This is what we came for. Let me add one other thing to this experience. This is my watch. Yes, I'm actually purchasing the watch at the night of the party. Pretty special event, but we're going to see it as I'm seeing it for the first time. I have not studied this or looked at it, and we're going to explore this together. So come with me. First of all, beautiful box. I know we get into the detail, it's an unboxing thing, but this is what you like. You've got the nice sturdy Omega box with the wonderful branding on it. There's something about a smell. I don't know what it is of the brand and everything, but okay, here we go, right off the bat. We've got the tissue paper that's slowly revealing everything together. Take a look at this. Now, if you see me poking over this way, this is for you people that like close-ups. You're going to find something very special about this watch today. This has an homage that connects from GoldenEye and bookends to No Time to Die, and it begins at the beginning. You could even say that this connects to Dr. No in the 60th franchise with oceans and that whole aquatic sense. But let's take this out, because the proof of the pudding is under the crust. And yes, we love a good box. I mean, this has wonderful and beautiful hinges. The blue is a darker blue than I expected. On the front of this, though, I know that you eagle-eyed people are seeing something that you're surrounded with, which are the dots, the Dr. No dots, which have become indelible in the whole idea of the 60th anniversary. Now, if I'm not mistaken, one of these dots is a Q branch moment, so to speak. I believe if I press this one right here, I just heard a click. It's a very satisfying noise. Beautiful. Okay, right off the bat, take a look at this. Now, I'm going to describe this. This is all for you. This isn't for me, because the first time I'm seeing my personal watch, you're seeing a better view than I am. But inside, you've got this beautiful shadow weave of the Geneva wave again. You've got the 60th anniversary of James Bond, 60 years of Bond. You've got the gun logo, and then you have the watch itself. I love the way that it's nestled in. Now, archaeologists talk about the whole idea. It's a bit of a theory that items have what's called a material biography. What on earth is that, David? Slow it down. Let me explain. Items like watches and clothing and shoes, they have a journey. Somebody made them. Somebody had a concept. Somebody had a delivery. And as you take ownership, you're really just borrowing and adding to the story. So when you connect to Omega, you're becoming a part of the brand heritage. Now, tonight, brand heritage of Omega meets James Bond. All right, we're taking the watch out. I'm telling you, this is like a Bond movie. We're getting deeper into it. We're going to put the box aside very carefully. Don't want to get too many fingerprints on it. No, listen, these things are meant to be used and worn. So here we go. We'll get some wonderful close-ups of this. Now, this is hysterical. I am a watch wearer. I'm not a watch expert. I could tell you, for example, this is 42 millimeter. It's a Seamaster 300. I could tell you it's got a sapphire crystal that's domed and scratch resistant. I guess I do know something about watches. I could tell you lug, it's 20 millimeters, but guess what? Everybody says, don't be careful, don't take off. I'm gonna take off the top because this watch is made to be enjoyed. One thing I'm noticing right away, first of all, where you have this scale triangle at the top, there is a 60. Again, I told you, homage. 60 years of James Bond. It's front and center. Psychology-wise, the way the eye is drawn, it's right to the 60 years. That's your little secret. There's nothing on here that says James Bond. And I always talk about the thrill of Omega watches is that it's a invisible hobby. It's only when you turn it on the back that you see that it is James Bond. Now, this is what I meant by bookend. GoldenEye had those waves as well. Although you have a darker blue, you've got the Milanese bracelet, and by the way, maybe it's sheer coincidence, maybe it's not. I'm wearing the Milanese bracelet from No Time to Die with the watch right here. So you can see how they pay respect to each other. This is the bookend of the franchise. This is how a brand does a franchise celebration the right way. All right. Mouth is watering slightly. It's not the appetizers. It's not the champagne I smell. It's something else. And it is the back. Now, there's a lot of accoutrements on the back. Happily, I'm going to do this through a loop the right way when I get home, so you're not seeing B-roll of stickers right now. But let me describe the back as I'm seeing it. First of all, the back itself is the true celebration. It's the animation of the actual gun barrel scene from the movie. And moire is a term I'm going to try to teach you within 20 seconds, because any more, and you'll actually leave this YouTube channel. So moire is a system where basically images and lines come together to fold over each other. This is a technological wonder. This is not very easy. Think the Snoopy watch, for example, how the lollipop hand has the movements itself. The moire actually moves James Bond into actually doing the gun barrel sequence. Do you ever know it? No, it happens 4 times a minute. If you add that up during the day, there's a lot of time you could be very distracted. Keep your eyes on the road. The other thing that I'm noticing on the back right away is that this is a screw-in back. That's very specific because that movement needs that. It's not the typical back. And of course, it has the 60th anniversary. What you should also know, though, this is a watch to be worn. It's a sapphire crystal on the back. And again, I'm so sorry I'm not making eye contact with you, but there are some things that you're drawn to. The beauty and the movement of this is exactly why I wanted to purchase this. Mind you, when you wear this watch, it's kind of like, oh, I don't know, I would imagine wearing lingerie. And I'm not wearing it right now. But if you were, it's that whole secret of what you're doing. It's a whole psychology behind it's happening, even though the world doesn't know that it's happening. Do I love this watch? Obviously. I mean, these are investments, right? There's something about this that connects me to the franchise, the darkness of the blue, and I want to create an authentic moment here. I have quite a few of the James Bond Omega watches. I had to think to myself, is this different enough? To me, this is the pinnacle of celebrating the franchise. So I'm going to enjoy it well, but I'm going to enjoy it with others tonight. That's the best way to enjoy James Bond. You don't sit in a theater alone. You don't enjoy this watch alone. But there may be something else I can show you around the watches from GoldenEye on that brought us to this watch today. Let's go take a look. Talk about a treat to really bring us into the whole heritage aspect. They brought some of the screen use, I said that correctly, screen use watches. Here we have, for example, if you come in close, the Seamaster Professional Chronometer 300 Casino Royale Limited Edition. Notice the sand and the tarring on it. That was actually added for the prop itself. So you're looking at the one that was worn in the movie. Pretty spectacular. But if you go over here, you're going to see a little bit of wiring and hookups because these are from The World Is Not Enough. First of all, you've got the one with the little lights that lights up when the avalanche comes. And you also have the one that has the grappling hook, which I think surprised all of us. That's the one where Denise Richard goes, "Do you have a name?" And he goes, "Bond, James Bond." And we all love that particular piece. We've got the Tomorrow Never Dies. Now, I've got to tell you, this is the watch. The reason it's special for me is this is what got me into watches and really into James Bond's sartorial world was this watch, and I still cherish the one I have at home. And there's one more. Yeah, there's one more to see. Here we go. We've got the Omega Chronograph 1967. This is the one that is much sought after that you see at the end of Spectre when Bond is driving away. They wanted a unique watch with a heritage, certain amount of vintage, and it also tells you that Bond is lasting, but he'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time that we move away from this and really start enjoying the party. Come on with us. Now I have to explain something. Once I did that video, and you can see, you know, we did some B-roll after the fact, so you could see the watch, and the doors opened up and people came in. Of course they came in, and it was great. It was fantastic. Kyle, you know, Easy Smile and Beautiful Watches was there. Kyle, what are we looking at right now?
We are looking at the 60th anniversary Omega Seamaster.
Really?
We
I
are.
had no idea we were here for that.
I mean, you only bring me to the nice places.
So that's the Milanese bracelet right there?
It is stainless steel
Is that a
Milanese.
316L steel? And that resists corrosion?
And
Does it?
Geneva waves.
What's
Ooh,
the crystal?
brings out the blue in my suit.
Really? That's where you're gonna
And the shirt too.
Yes.
Yeah, it matches perfectly.
go? We've got some critics. How do we like
Maybe
this?
you should get it. In my humble opinion.
Maybe I should.
Maybe you should get it.
What do you
Perfect.
think?
Matches perfectly well.
There's a lot
It
of
matches the
influence
vibe.
here.
And there's the evolution.
All right, so the blues are totally different.
They are different.
Yeah, great.
And so,
So
are
that's the
the
Brosnan.
so are the indices.
Yes.
A little bit different. It's almost evolution,
Okay,
not
can I make
revolution.
a suggestion?
Sure.
Let's hit it with the loom,
All right.
and can we shut this one off and bring it into here?
How does it work? Why does it like?
Okay, so we're gonna test the loom. Beautiful.
Why does it have the loo? Like what? Why?
So let's give it a nice charge.
Oh wow.
And bring it over here. Bring it over here. All right, so look at the green.
Why does it do that? It's almost new. I love it.
Wow. Are we wrapping it up?
I think so. I think I'll take two.
Let's say two. A view to a Kyle. You know who I'm talking about. He was there. There were a couple other people that, you know, have seen the channel or experienced the channel, which was great catching up with them. There were people from Omega, from the marketing department, but also the different parts of the boutique. It was a celebration. It was a true party. But my watch had to go bye-bye for now because I couldn't be walking around with this bag and this watch. There's quite a few people that want this watch. So it had to go back into the safe and there it sat. Now, Danielle and I were taking a train back that evening and I didn't want to take a bag. So Omega arranged for the box to be shipped to me and it was. So I'm telling you folks, I have not seen my acquired 60th anniversary watch until now, and it's in the box. So at this point, what we're gonna do is we're going to open the box. Okay, these are the sacrifices I make for the channel. I've had this for a couple days just to be totally transparent with you. We're gonna use an X-Acto knife and we are going to be very careful around the seam lines. I'm feeling the seam lines here so I can see sort of an outline, and we're gonna do this. Okay, I've carefully cut through all of this. You're gonna see this before me. Oh my goodness, look at all the newspaper. I think this might be my receipt. I'm just kidding. But hey, that's a nice touch. Look at that. So why do we do these unboxings? Sometimes if you're new to the channel, I do like to explain that because maybe you came here and you came for a watch view of things. We're trying to replicate what it's like to receive one of these in the mail. And a lot of people, they do toy unboxings and watch unboxings and, hold on a second. We've got my first thing. And look at that. That's beautiful. That is the Omega. It's sealed with candle wax, or it looks like candle wax. Could be a sticker. But this is, oh, here we go. Oh, this is from the president of Omega. So it's a message, it's a note to me. Congratulations on your new Omega timepiece. All of our products are meticulously crafted with you in mind. I appreciate that. Thank you, Arnaud. Since 1848, Omega has been synonymous with luxury timekeeping. We have a rich history of Swiss watchmaking and technological achievements that are heritage of the brand. We hope you enjoy your OmegaWatches.com experience. Thank you. I will. And of course, here is my information. We're going to put this over on the side. We'll collect quite a pile. And oh, another little note. Again, I have no idea what these things are. We're doing this together. This is, oh, it is a handwritten note. Okay, I'm not going to say who this is from. but this is pretty special because I don't know if this person would want to be identified here. But so here we go. Dear David, congratulations on your new gorgeous 60th anniversary James Bond Seamaster timepiece. Wear it in good health. Thank you for being such a valued client. Warm regards. And I will refrain from saying who this is, but it's a very special person at the boutique. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, heavy. Okay, let us put this to the side. We've got a little debris here. We've got a sharp X-Acto knife. I'm going to put that to the side. So here we go. This is wrapped in beautiful tissue paper. And again, the pomp and circumstance is half the fun of this. I mean, this is a cherished heirloom timepiece. Clearly, I've been waiting for a bit to open this. This has 711 Fifth Avenue. That is the New York boutique where this was acquired from. And we are going to carefully, I'm not going to be like my mother when I was growing up, save the wrapping paper. We can reuse the wrapping paper. That's not how she sounds. And if she's watching this, love you. Thank you for giving birth to me. Okay. So, carefully and gently put it over there. That's not what's important. This is what I want to have kid gloves with. Look at this. The box is back. Now, mind you, this was the same watch that you just saw when I was all dressed in that very nice blazer, doing the description. By the way, one thing I didn't mention, when I was doing that watch discussion, I had memorized everything you saw there. Got a couple things wrong. I'm not a professional. There's no wires, there's no nets here. And of course, certainly not any official capacity to Omega, Eon, or anything. I am just David Zaritsky. So I make mistakes, but this is the same watch. And I will tell you right now, it has a certain gravitas that it didn't have in the shop. Because in the shop, I'm just trying to get the shot. I'm just trying to get the video. And mind you, I had like 15 people from Omega watching me, and I'm thinking like, if I say something wrong, they're analyzing, they're judging. They seem to like it though. They seem to have liked it. But here is the watch right now, and we are going to open it up. Oh, the blue is darker than when I remember. And again, things were happening so quickly, but look at the blue lines on there. Look at the blue lines. Absolutely beautiful. Those are not Geneva waves. That's on the back of a watch. Got that part wrong when I did it in the video. But, oh gosh, I'm a box guy. Some people like different parts of the body. I'm a box guy. By the way, before we get into that, this is my warranty. This is also my reference number, etc. It's in the same color leather as the inside of the box. I have the instruction manual in here, and everything is just beautifully nested in a beautiful way. Okay, but we'll put that to the side for now, just for now. And here it is. So if you take a look, and I know you're getting some reflection right now, but there you go. You're seeing the box, you're seeing those 3 Dr. No indelible dots. And of course, the secret one, here the latch part. Like I said in the video, it's very satisfying. And as I mentioned, this is the first time I'm seeing the watch since then. Now there is some plastic protection around the edges here that we will take off. But there's the watch, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get some really nice close-ups, of course. But, oh, yeah. So as I'm looking at this again, feelings, emotions, you know, there was, like I said in the video, there was a moment where I'm thinking to myself, it's not seen in a movie. I'm a screen accurate, screen used, screen seen guy. It's kind of my shtick. It's like, it's what I gravitate to. It's what excites me. When I look down at my Quantum of Solace watch, I'm like, That's the one that Bond would have been wearing. This is not. This is my first homage watch, but it's done so tastefully. You know, the blue dial, the way it's so clean that it looks like a mix of Brosnan and the midnight blue face that you would see in some of Daniel Craig's things, and just, you know, the 60th, which doesn't tell the world that it's James Bond. It's so special. And then, of course, the back of it. I mean, you know, and by the way, we're going to get this shot through a loop, which I think will be really cool, because this way you really get to see the action, the animation that is so special, that hidden secret that I talked about, which now that it's sitting in my home, it feels more real. And I don't know if you're like this when you acquire things, but when you purchase them in the store, I don't know what it is, but there's a part of me that thinks at any moment they could go, oh, we made a huge mistake. We're not going to let you walk out with this. Or you can't have this. I'm so sorry. Or whatever it is. You know, there's always that trepidation like, is this really yours? But now that it's sitting in my office, I'm talking to you in a relaxed way. Nothing crazy is going on. There's no champagne or cameras. Well, there's one camera. It feels very real. It feels like this is now mine. And that's part of the acquisition. It's like, yes, there's the hunt, there's the trophy aspect, but this is mine, which now I can truly just start to enjoy it and appreciate it. And I've always said these things are like works of art. And you do look at works of art, but this is a work of art. Watches are works of art that can travel with you. They can go on your wrist. You know, you can be in a situation that you don't want to be in, or in something as mundane as a train, and look down at your watch and appreciate the artwork. And then on the back, you can appreciate the technological wonderment and genius that Omega has created in the movement of the gun barrel sequence that you now have living on your wrist. It's a part of that incredible material biography that I mentioned, where the story, the Omega story, and the story of James Bond is on your wrist. That is bonkers to me. And it's a wonderful moment. And now that I hold the watch, which I'm now holding the watch, it just makes it even more real. So we'll have some follow-ups for you on this as we wear this in the wild. But now that I brought this on, now that I see it in person, I've got to ask a very simple question. Any regrets? Zero. And I mean zero. This is just making me smile. It's something that I can wear with pride. It's my own either secret, or if you know and you now know what I'm wearing, it's even that much more special. But as an homage to the 60th anniversary of James Bond and celebration of my passion, I couldn't think of a better piece of art, a better watch, a better moment around this than this. This is the specialness of it. So I'm going to enjoy this. If you don't mind, I just opened it. This is all real. This is authentic. There's no script. This is how I'm experiencing this for the first time. But I'll let you go. I'm sure we'll revisit this. And in the meantime, I do want to thank everybody at Omega for making this incredibly special. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you. So I showed you that swag from the first night. The second night at the party, they gave us goodies as well. This is what we got on the second night of the big party. Check this out. I know you guys like this too, but check this out. All right, a little tissue paper to protect it. So, wow, it's a leather Omega, and it looks like it would be a notebook, right? It's not. It is, and I will open this. Wait till you see this. So it's got the little latch on it. It's got the strap. And that is to make sure everything is held well into place. And you open it up, and it is a very fancy, schmancy watch holder. It's flocked, very soft, but this is so you can travel with your watches, your information. I guess you could put other things in there like electronics and wires, but no, this would be very cool to travel with your watches. And just, again, icing on the cake. Everything's icing on the cake when you come down to it. The reason you engage with Omega, the reason you keep coming back for the customer service and the customer experience and the way they treat you, their connection to Bond, is this. It's the watch. It's the very thing that you wear on your wrist. And so to me, this is the moment that counts. So this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you all real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.